How we doing, Lions? We juicing like a motherfucker, boy. Good morning. Pixel perfect. Pixel perfect.
Previously on Kimba TV. We're gonna try to give away $250,000. It says that there's 1,000 viewers right now, but obviously I've got about 780 iPads in my living room watching my own stream. So there's really only about 220 of you guys. So that means that it's gonna be about $1,000 per person. All right. So there's probably only like 200 of you guys, actual humans, watching this shit. So that's about $1,000 per person. All right, you guys down? I've already gotten starting to hit some of my TPs. If S&P goes through that box, half of my S&P short is closed. I think we're up close to 380 right now. 1,000 doll hairs. All right, got to be testnet. What do you guys think about the preparation and the planning? Dimitri, what's going on? Can we get 15-second alpha TA? It's the same as yesterday. So 2 days ago, we were waiting for it to come back down here. Yesterday, it came back down here. We took a live long. I hope people were listening. But even this, we talked about. That's your stop loss right there. So I don't know how many people. I think some of you guys DM me and you took that one. So that's awesome. But even this we talked about yesterday. So yeah, all this kind of played out. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And then, yeah, look at that. Look at that. But yeah, if I would still like to kind of clean all of that. There's also a scenario where you could just clean that and start heading back down too. So this is kind of, this has always been kind of like a level of interest. So we'll see if they can turn that into support. If bulls can, then it's really going to get going, because all of these and all of these are going to all get cleaned out. Yeah, that's about it. So no real, nothing's really changed. We took the long yesterday and just continuing to drag your stop. So like your stop loss and profit should be somewhere in between these point of controls now. Like here. Maybe even like that. Would like to at least tap 84, 85. Lashkuinha, Esox, Vilfa, average walk. The only way that we would have had different 15-second alpha TAs is if this was lost. So then that's going to be a problem. But Dimitri says, is shorting from 84.5 a good idea? No. Because, and Dimitri, try to really listen to what I say every day, okay? We don't ever long or short a level. How do you know if 84.5 is really going to be bearish? Would you still take an 84.5 short if people start to open shorts at 83.5 and they have not closed at 84.5 and they're underwater? Would you still take that short if it's actually bouncing from a hidden bull div? So, Dimitri, it's not about predicting the future. It's about reading data. So instead of asking me, hey, would you short 84.5? The question is, hey, if we get to 84.5, what would be data that would make you short? Do you remember when I said 2 days ago The only thing that I need is S&P Confluence and a hidden CVD bull div if we come back down here. And that's what we got, and that's why I took the long. I would have never said, hey, we're going to long here. I said if we get a hidden CVD bull div and S&P Confluence, then I'm going to go ahead and long it. So we said that 2 days ago, and then yesterday, live, we took it. So you need to have the discipline to not take the trade if the edge isn't there, and you need to take the trade if the edge is there. All right, Dimitri says probably missed that live. That's okay, but you know what the bigger problem is? You didn't rewind and get caught up. All right, Dimitri? So, gotta stay up to date, my boy. Ghost BTC is asking, sorry, Kim, but I didn't hear why you put the stop loss and profit here on the long. What do you mean? Why I'm putting the stop loss and profit on structure change? It's Friday. Yeah. But, I mean, why would I want to lose this? So if the structure is lost, then I'm going to close it. Onani God says, I want to short that SFP since everyone is bullish. Everyone is not bullish. So you're reading not only the data wrong, but you're reading the sentiment wrong, Onani. Yeah, your sentiment score probably is not good enough for you to make calls like that. Are you sure you're reading the data? Make sure you read the data. Okay, it's literally in front of you. So don't guess. Alrighty. Wazo says, would you consider shorting an SFP of 84.8 bad high? Well, the thing that I would make you answer me, Wazo, is one, obviously, you know that my knee-jerk response is going to be, do I like to take big trades on Thursday or Friday, right? If we're going to get into a nice long or a nice short, I would prefer that the weekly low or the weekly high is set on a Monday or Tuesday, right? So that would mean naturally that even if I do take an 84.8, what are the chances we would have to discuss what are the chances that it's just going to get cleaned again over the weekend or on Monday. If you're going to take it on a Friday, what would be the chances? Like sometimes I'll say shit like, I'm willing to take that long, even if it's over the weekend or even if it's Friday. So do you remember the data point that makes me take a position on Friday or the weekend? Do you remember? If that SFP is a 84.8 bad high on CME, do you think I'm going to take it? Is it an RTH or an ETH? Because that's going to make a difference on whether I take it on Friday or over the weekend, right? So, yes, I would take it as long as it's going to happen during RTH, and S&P also does the same thing. My concern with S&P, since I'm somebody that has a short, is something like this happening. And then this is all going to get cleaned. And so I would be really, like if I'm looking at S&P, the only SFP long, or excuse me, the SFP that I would take on SNP would be something like that. On a Friday, I wouldn't take this. So it depends on when it would do it, what time, and what S&P looks like. Wazzle. Alrighty, but it's the same way that I would answer any kind of question asking me if I would take a structural play on Friday. Whether it's an SFP short, SFP long, it would all of that would be important. Is it during RTH, and what is S&P doing? So if it's during RTH, sure, I'll take it. But if it's not during RTH, then no. All right, Wazzle? It would need to be a sweep during RTH. For me, yes. because it's inside of a gap. Do you see it? That 84.8 SFP Gucci is going to land inside a RTH gap. So the more that time that you spend in a gap, it means what? So I would need all that confluence. Otherwise, I'd be really worried about it rotating to the complete opposite side, on like RTH resumption. So if it's going to swing fail, it's going to do it during RTH, and it's going to show me that it's an SFP, and it leaves the gap right away. But a lot of these things too, Gucci Romo, brother, is you should just never take my word for it. Try it. If you're really curious, try it with a 0.1 Bitcoin size, because your memory is going to be a lot easier to recall if you actually took a shot. Okay? So if you see a RTH gap like that, and you're anticipating a swing fail or some sort of structural reaction, see what happens. Just take try an SFP short. Do it for like 0.1 Bitcoin and see what happens. But if we're going to go into RTH gap, I need to see it during RTH gap if it's going to SFP. Otherwise, I won't trust it, because I'm going to just assume that RTH, when it reopens, it's going to revisit it again. So basically, I don't care how you would do it, Gucci Romo. You and I can see that there's a gap right here, right? And you can tell that it was a partial fill, right? So, brother, it better go fink. And it better be on RTH. Otherwise, I don't know if I could take it. Because if it's during ETH, you're going to have like a gap inside of a gap scenario if it doesn't do that. If it starts to do this, you might end up with a gap here and a gap. And then in that case, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. So it wouldn't be a good risk management trade for me. So usually in that case, Gucci Romo, I'll just wait for RTH and play the dip, the tip exactly. I would much rather it did the 84.8 sweep like on Monday. That would be like a much easier short, I think. Where you are on the higher time frame, I'm bullish. Remember, Inky? And I don't know if you're underwater or if you're at break even, but I'm getting into longs with altcoins, Bitcoin, S&P, TradFi, all in the hopes of front running FOMC rate cuts. And I think there's a chance that S&P and Bitcoin could still go a little bit lower in the next couple of weeks. So I'm always going to be not scared to take longs. But like I said, any long attempts above 76, I'm going to be pretty aggressive with stop loss. And what I really want is like 70 to break. But that could take 3 to 6 weeks. Maybe 3 months max. Because these are weekly candles. So, the first thing is, where does the weekly candle close? That's going to be pretty important. And then how does next week's candle close? So that might be like when maybe the time frame that if I were in your shoes, I would be giving myself to start making decisions. And if you really can't wait, I would, at least do it bit by bit, not the whole thing. Skadooch says, super random, but what do you think about Sol meme coins? I have the same opinion about all of that as I do about S&P or Bitcoin. Markets exist to move money from people that don't deserve it to people that do. So, however way the market determines that is up to the market, right? It's not there to figure out what the fair market value of an asset is. Markets exist for capital reallocation. So, yeah, if you want to put money in there, I think it's just a gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. When I see like these Sol meme coin like scalping trading streams, it's just like another Gamba stream. It might as well say stake. So now we're gonna start the next 2 weeks. I'm really gonna be altcoin nerding out. So, all right, let's get after it. Now we can kind of maybe shift a little bit of focus on some altcoins a little bit. So, yeah. Have a great weekend, Thomas. Uranium, have a great weekend, man. Let's get it. Shout out to you, Thomas. Wazzle, let's go. Wazzle, you good? Wazizi, how was this week, my guy? Pretty interesting. MSTR, let's go. Uranium, let's go. Uranium, how was your week, man? We got done with CPI and PPI. We got weekly and monthly options expirations, but the real thing is going to be the GDP PCE, which is going to be same day, the last trading day of April. And then we have FOMC the first week of next month. You think we're finally going to get rate cuts, ladies and gentlemen? God damn, we need that rate cut. Arepo says, I'll be juicing on them altcoins. Let's do it, man. Hey, we're front running rate cuts, but let's see. And multiple levels. We know things are going to take time. Worst case scenario, S&P could still go to 4500, 42. So we're going to keep our head on a swivel, but always taking positions when the data looks good, huh? Do you have any SUI in your wallet? A little bit. That's what she say. But I'm going to be buying more at. Do you know where? Do you want to look at SUI? So this was our SUI trade. The derivative long got stopped out, but I bought more on spot. This has been the SUI play for quite some time, just like Sol. So yeah, like as soon as we broke $2, I started buying, and I bought all the way down to the weekly level. So yeah, a little bit, but again, like I don't know if Bitcoin could go lower. I don't know if Sol could go lower. So just because I think it's going to, or just because I don't think it's going to, it still doesn't change the fact that I need to be prepared, right? So if it does go back down there, I'll just continue buying more spot. All right. And what I would do is like anything else, we can do fixed range, and I'll probably go from here all the way through like that. So you can see that there is value area high, point of control, and value area low. So, if this zone doesn't hold, like I would allow something like this, right? Kind of similar to like what Bitcoin would look like. But, yeah, if that doesn't hold and it's just going to go back in, I mean, you can even tell there's really no volume right here. So you're going to go whoop. Yeah, but we've had that on there for quite some time. Sounds good. Aladino says, can you explain why your TP was above 84K highs? Well, it depends, Aladino. Have you been able to follow along what I've been talking about on the higher time frame stuff? If you have time this weekend, I want you to kind of go back and listen to what we've been, talking about. We have higher time frame plan, and we have medium time frame, and we have smaller time frame. All right. So do you know that we've been talking about if this ends up being the, I'm ready for something like this, right? Higher time frame. I also know on S&P, okay, based off of this, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on this, all right? But there's still a chance that we could have one more dip. And so those kind of higher time frame concepts are going to guide me when I'm trying to take longs or shorts. That being said, your question was, can you explain why your TP was above 84? Well, did you hear yesterday? Like we had some TPs here. We had some TP at VWAP. Do you remember last night when I said the next TP is VWAP? I don't know if you were here for that. Yeah, like we were already looking at that, and we've been kind of shaving along. 84 high is basically where the bad highs are. So that's where the next sort of logical area would be to look for a short or a TP. But these levels haven't really, we've been watching this since they were formed, right? So that's why. Yeah, and then make sure that you're not going to fail auction here. It's probably going to do like a this, then a this, clean, and then a this. This is the golden pocket retest, then something like that. So like from, well, I need that on. So from here to there. Or excuse me. Yeah, like that. Banshee says, so if I had a, let's say, big long position, since right now, after first VWAP TPs, it's also close, at least half of what's remaining at today's peak for better risk management. It's kind of up to you, Banshee. So the thought process would be, why did you take the long where you did? And what kind of data would invalidate the reasons why you took the long? If those invalidations are going to take you to a level lower than your entry, then you have no choice but to put your stop loss at break even. Love you guys. Have an amazing weekend. Rest up so we can regroup and give it our all next week as well. Hey, Lions, every day we're getting closer and closer to reaching our goals, accomplishing our dreams. Shit, for me, getting the next layout out. Kachaya! Lions, we're getting ready. We're getting ready for that Q&A, for the scalping, for the S&P, for the altcoin, for the altcoin nerd out. Automated giveaways, automated poker, the blending of the Twitch and YouTube communities together. Actually, is this bringing in the YouTube chat as well? On the bottom SWAT, it's supposed to be. We should test that as well. I don't know if it is, because I don't know if Tarasta's message came through. But yeah, everything is going to be combined, and I'm excited. I'm excited to start doing some S&P scalping. Yeah, because, like today, for example, like, long here, try to get that one, obviously, trail the stop loss. So, it would be something like this. We would be in a long from here probably. Our TP is right there. Maybe we already started shaving a little bit. you know, but like that would have been the S&P scalp, for example, if we were going to do that live. So it would be really interesting to get that going. Bitcoin scalping is going to be fun. But at the end of the day, it's not really about being in the same positions or seeing the market the same exact way or agreeing with each other. It has nothing to do with that. You know, we were talking about this level pretty early on. And when I got filled, I told you guys. And even before we left, we talk about the 75786 pullback, and that's your stop loss, right? So you have plenty of opportunities to long if you wanted. You have plenty of opportunities to short if you want. So when the volatility kicks in and things start flying, you're always going to revert back to what you truly believe and your subconscious bias. So if that is the case, then you might as well just do what you think is right. And if you have enough edge, it's rare that you're going to get immediately filled and immediately stopped out. If that's consistently happening, then we need to stop and figure out what's going on, because clearly you're doing something wrong. But a lot of times you're going to be able to get opportunities to put your stop loss at break even. So if you do that, and if you're not too bothered about getting round tripped or left behind because you have the confidence and the plans to be able to get back in or chase it in a responsible manner, then you're not really tripping about getting stopped out. In fact, you rather get stopped out, protect capital, manage risk, and if there is an opportunity to still chase it, then you already know what to do and you can execute that. So we got to lock in and really start getting into these good spots, Lions. It's not about predicting the future. It's about positioning ourselves when it's statistically advantageous to. Like a lion hiding behind a bush. We're going to be doing some altcoin nerd out next week. Hey, don't be shy. Make sure you're in the Discord. And we're going to be bringing people on stream and doing Altcoin Nerd Out live together. Are you guys ready? You better be ready. And hopefully we don't get too many fart coin requests. Hey, remember, bulls, bears, we're all lions. It really doesn't matter if you're longing or shorting. Sooner or later, every lion understands that it's not really about you versus anybody else. It's really a big you versus you type of thing. So, all right. Hey, next week is going to be juicy. Why? Because the weekly close and the next one's going to be very important to this whole structure. Because spending time back above and building value back above this line, awesome. Back below, no good. So that's how I would just immediately look at S&P. Obviously, you've got RTH gaps to the downside and to the upside. And Bitcoin too, like on the higher time frame, even if this bitch runs back up to 92, 93, like I know that I don't know if it's going to be like 85 or if it's going to actually be like 80, 82. But, you know, I'm ready for that as well. Could it do this? Sure. Especially if that's what S&P is doing. But this might be like when the 90-day tariff pause is done. And we start talking about, tariffs are back. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. He said psych. All right, let's lock in. The objective is to not get got. Just don't get got, Lions. That's good enough to juice.
You just said.
You ready, Grimes? Fippa Apper Beru. Hey, let's show some love to everybody that gifted subs. I will miss you guys. Stay safe over the weekend. We might be doing a poker tournament, so keep your ears on the ground in the Discord. Enjoy your weekend so we can bring our best on Monday. Hey, Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. He said he's gonna get you. He said he's going to get you. Lions, have an amazing weekend. I'll see you guys bright and early on Monday. Stay tuned. There might be a poker tournament. Kachaya! He reaving! Younger soon, he reaving! Love you guys. Have a great weekend.